Good evening, everybody. Apologies for the snotty nose. It's that time of the year, unfortunately. But it is round number 2. We're at Zandvoort here at the NAG SARCO season number 2. And in the commentary box, I have, well, not in my commentary box, but in our virtual commentary box, Mr. Alan Patterson. Good evening.
Dylan, how are you? Good to be here this evening. And yeah, hopefully we've got a bunch of surprises for our viewers today. As you said, coming to you from Zandvoort in Holland, and we're praying for the weather gods to be on our side and have a little bit of moist weather around on the dunes here in Zandvoort.
And we have been trying to get the rain to come. We just have not been successful in the last 3 times we had these settings. But in the practice, it has been extremely wet. And I'm fortunate enough that I've got a little inside view of what's happening. It looks like the first practice on the Saturday is dry, which means we might have a dry qualifying, which is going to be absolutely incredible, which means that we might have the wet racing.
Exactly. And then to add to that complicated affair, we've got a 60-minute race coming this race day, but you've only allowed 3 tyre sets. So a 2 pit stop count and 3 tyre sets, that's limiting the drivers. They're going to have to think very carefully on what they're going to do here today.
Yeah, most definitely. The thing is that if the rain comes in, there's limitations on the tires. They fall away because it doesn't lock your tires in for the wet. But I hope that we can just get a wet qualifying and let's go into a dry race. I think that will be very, very interesting.
Definitely. Yep. And we've got a huge number of entries here tonight as well. I think you were dropping numbers around 40 something.
42 entries, and we should have close on about 39 drivers this evening. There have been some that have just skipped the event, obviously with other things that they needed to attend to. But very, very tight, very, very tricky. And we do have some multi-class racing, so we've got the Pro as well as Pro-Am racing within the same race. But then we've also got some gents that unfortunately missed the qualifying, so are racing but will come up as unclassified.
Yes, you mentioned that earlier in driver's briefing. So yep, there's going to be a little bit of a change around going on there. Just looking at the trying to get a handle on the current points positions. What we're having a look at here, and we're going to see the likes of Andre Sorodio, Tyler Humphreys and Sunjin Pillay fighting it out for your first, second and third positions in the series. But there's a lot of people very close to them, the likes of Jason Farmer, Marius Botma and Tennis Buerta, that are all right there chomping on their heels, and this is going to be a very challenging race. This track not easy, certainly something to be aware of and be awake and have your wits about you. But yeah, if we can get the weather gods to play with us and make this the challenge that we're looking for, it's going to be an awesome event.
100% agree. So we are going to jump into the live racing. There is 2 minutes left there, so I think let's just have a little video from our sponsor and let's get into that racing. So we will catch up with you in a couple of minutes. We'll be back.
There was nothing quite like paging through a new NAG magazine. The smell of those freshly printed pages, incredible game artwork, and of course, all the gaming and hardware insights you can handle. Did you know that the NAG magazine is back in print? Yes!
Grab the latest copy online. It's the 2023 annual edition and each magazine is individually numbered. You can also look forward to an exclusive poster in each magazine, and there are 2 cover DVDs with exclusive game demos, apps and many hidden Easter eggs. Get yours at shop.nag.co.za before they're all gone.
We feel you.
So there we have the top view of what's happening at Zandvoort currently. There are quite a few interesting looking liveries. And the one that we had a little chuckle earlier on in the commentary box, let's just go down and see where we're going to find him. I think he might be out on track.
No, he's there. It's the
I
third
got him.
card
I got
down.
him. I got him. I got him. I got him.
Okay, okay.
So let's just do this, Mr. Genre Bierkus. If we can quickly grab this for you.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, it's not Genre. It's Malotse.
No, it's my loss.
Well,
my loss.
let's go and find him.
Yeah.
This
Fly
is
down the pit lane.
the
Here
beauty
we
we
go.
have with our new found beauty, this little helicam that we've got.
Hello,
So,
Kitty.
bringing in the Hello Kitty livery. But the one thing that really got us chuckling is if we just go to the back of this vehicle.
Yeah, just mount the paint job. It's still a little bit wet. Don't smear it. There we go.
Punt at your own risk. I absolutely love that.
Dig it. Oh, that's good.
So,
Well, great to see Malossi picking up on our challenge from last week. He was chirping at us on the stream, and we were talking about the lack of the big Boatleys and the monster V8s. And lo and behold, here he is tonight in a big Bentley.
I must say I am still extremely fond of the sound that car makes. And I
100%.
definitely fell in love with it when we were at the first 9 hour that arrived at South Africa.
Yep.
I was very fortunate to be at the BMW tent at Clubhouse, and just to hear that car changing down into Clubhouse and then just powering out, absolutely incredible.
Dylan, we were in shouting distance because we sat at Clubhouse for about 6 hours and then moved down to the Essies and then sat in the grandstands at the Essies for the rest of the evening until the rainstorm came.
Absolutely
then we headed
incredible.
for our cars. Oh,
Yes!
look at that, it's wet.
Yes!
Okay,
We have
people,
finally
here we
cracked
go.
the code. Now there are going to be a lot of very, very frustrated sim drivers. I can tell you that much. And
Yeah.
and there we go. Oh goodness! And this is part of the challenge. Is that I had Morris Botma, who was actually chatting to me earlier. And when I say think of mad scientist vibes, I said, Morris, this is what I'm getting. Is that he literally sat there saying that I watched the service spin up and there was rain here, it was dry here, but then through the race, this is what happened. So the fact that it is raining at the qualifying means that there won't necessarily be a wet race.
Well, yeah, look, it's we're dealing with this machine called ACC and the weather mechanics behind it. So let's not say that it might not or it might will. We can't be sure of that. But the fact that you've got it in qualifying is a good thing. First time for this season, and we've been hoping for this. So there we go. We've got ideal European weather. That track's wet. There's mist and moisture coming off the wings and tires. The guys are... If they thought it was hard, it's now just gone double hard.
Correct. And we have set the settings for the entire season to be as, dare I say, random as possible. And I think that's exactly where we are. And that's just to bring that unpredictability. And it's exactly where guys are not happy, but I'm sure they're definitely going to give it all they can.
Yeah. And as we've pointed out in previous streams and discussions, the rain and wet factor brings out different skill levels as well. Where we will see drivers that aren't usually up at the front of the races come through the field and be at the front end because they're just generally a little bit quicker in the wet conditions than some of the usual contenders. So. We should see a big change up in this round for sure.
I also think what happens is that it is quite a good equalizer for some of the newer drivers.
Yeah,
just checking Ronnie Leperer. I actually don't even know how to say his name. And Ronnie is actually one of the newcomers that joined us on What the Coconuts on Monday. Found us on simracing.gp, and here he is racing. So absolutely awesome to have him. Atipino in his 6T BMW. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to get a good result here this evening. Rob van der Heever, we saw Lucas going off, and that's at turn number 8. Kind of want to be able to get that entry at turn number 8, because then you want to tighten up here at turn 9. It looks like Lucas just not getting to grips with that wet condition just yet.
Yeah, there was 10, 11. You've got to move forward a little bit there. They were heading back down towards the RDSs, but yeah, very difficult corner. Complete a little bit of negative camber coming in here, and a lot of people run deep because there's no dedicated braking point. This is known as the Renault corner, turn 10, and now through the Vodafone corner, turn 11, and heading down towards the last chicane. But this track, just quickly, interesting discussion, some history here. Current length, as we watching it now, 4.2 kilometers. It's been in its current use since 2020, but it was only it was the same prior to that, except a reinvestment done to the track and a remodeling of the final corner, the Uri Lion Dyke corner, which they banked onto the main straight, and turn 3, as you know, that little hairpin, which was also banked.
So I don't know if you saw that. That was Marco coming out of 12, getting that the Lexus very, very sideways, but committing to the power. We got Fez Zeko has joined us. So good to have him. One of the LNR drivers that came from the Consa Wolf is back joining us. So that's pretty awesome to see. So Ulrich de Jager, he has crossed the line, currently in first at 146.6, Marco 147.5, and Ronnie 150.5 there for him. Just missing Atipino crossing the line there. That puts him at a 147.2.
Are these guys must still be on outlaps and stuff, because the tower's not showing any official lap times as yet. And we've just gone under 10 minutes left of this qualifying session.
So we do have 4 guys that have put up a time. Okay. I realize it's only because I am further down the order. That's why we haven't seen what's happening. And let's just get their best laps up. There we go.
There we go. All right, good. And Ronnie Lepre, the newcomer, is right there.
But he's already already on a lap, so I hope he doesn't do another one, because then we will have to give him that drive-through. So Stefan Kutsia, he's going to cross the line now, so that will be the start of his flying lap. Let's see who else. Mfezeko Nkulu down through turn number 12. And here on the wet conditions, it looks like the rears are not happy through here.
But good to see a Mercedes out on the track, sir.
Most definitely. Is a little bit of a pity that the... so that puts him up into 4th place. That's a pretty decent effort there for him. And next up, Andrew Brogioni. He goes into 3rd place. And just behind him is Tinnis, who started his outlap.
Yep. So Ulrich de Jager sitting on a 146.6 is pretty handy there. Half a tenth, at least half a second quicker than everyone else at the moment. But we're still expecting a lot of the big hitters to come out as we count down this quali session. 8 minutes and counting now, and we are watching Emily Benz as she's going around in the Ghostworks liveried Ferrari.
The next up, who is Stefan Gutierrez in his Ferrari, the running Red Bull colors. Jude Neville, and his livery is showing. There you go, Jude. And it was so one of the drivers that is racing here and is not too worried about being classified, but just happy to be racing.
Yep.
So I think we might need to just get a little message to Ronnie to please pit.
Yeah, I was thinking possibly send an admin message or something if you can. We'll send that out quickly, and hopefully he gets that and doesn't cross the line. 7 minutes and counting, so not much time. The rain is not thundering down, but it is falling, and it's falling enough just to keep the track wet. there's a. It looks like you got that message
Yep.
perfectly.
I did
There's
spell his
a.
name Romy. My apologies, Ronnie. I didn't mean to do it like that. It was a panic moment.
All good. Ronnie got it. And welcome everybody on the YouTube channel and on Facebook, our live streams tonight. Great to have you here. Don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe if you're keen, and pop us a hello in the chat, and we'll say how's it. Tell us who you are supporting.
So yeah, with us going and just shouting out to Ronnie there, we did miss Stefan Coetzee, who did go fastest on a 1:45.9. Tennis Porter, he did a 1:46.0, so good
That's
form there for him, which has now dropped Ulrich de Joche down into third place.
Andre Hildebrandt coming over the line in the Ferrari.
So I must actually say the one thing about Andre Hildebrandt is normally we do our little highlights reels where we got these overtakes, and just got the sense that Andre was just one of the drivers that the overtake was always being done to, and I managed to get one where it was actually Andre doing the overtaking, so that was actually pretty cool.
That's awesome. Ron Heineke also coming over and starting his lap now, so a couple of the quick drivers coming out and getting some laps going now.
And then behind him, that looked like it was either Flip or Jason Farmer in the McLaren, because I saw an LTR McLaren coming out there.
Okay.
The dude coming into pits. That was very naughty, Jude, because it's go across the line and then go off the track, not come back into the pits and stop just before the line. It was Etienne Maton, so I did get that wrong.
Oh, this is the McLaren you saw earlier.
Yeah. So he was just behind there with Sean Domingo. Oh, and that's the thing, is that we haven't seen any of the Project Vapor guys having a go.
Yep.
So there were all four of them out in front at the last race, and man, oh man, was that an exciting race.
Mark Henneberry hanging on to that Porsche as he was going through the second last turn 14.
Oof. You can just see him hooking it out on the outside there, just keeping it on the track. And Mark now starting his lap. Johan van der Vente has gone into second place. Emily Benz fastest on a 1:44.2.
That's amazing. Well done, Emily Benz. Yo. Rob van der Heer on the YouTube saying, hi guys, how's it, Rob? Thank you.
Oh, the Rob. And Malotse Sabata saying, feel the thunder, boys. Malotse. There's one thing feeling the thunder, but in that pink Hello Kitty, I'm not so sure. Ron Heineke. Oh, smashes 0.6 off the time, goes to a 1:43.3. Morris Botma, he goes 1:42.1 and puts that in pole position now. So Chris Heineke, he is now just starting his lap. Next
Dylan, put us in a cockpit of a car, because to me it looks like the rain stopped.
I can do that. Yes, it has. So the track is drying, and you can see that a drying line. So those who went out earlier, unfortunately, would have had a wet line, which I'm sure they're not going to be too happy about, but nevertheless. So that is Frankie goes up into 7th place. Thank you very much, Anthony, for approving of this. Really appreciate it. Sean Domingo goes second. Still 0.3 off Morris Botma's time. Here comes Mark Henneberry driving for Slick Racing. Crosses line 4th there for him.
Great lap there for Mark in the Porsche. Yeah, Andre Sorodia, here we go.
Second there for him.
Second.
Morris still holding that top spot. Jabulani Madzivandondo, he's now coming through this final corner, and it does sound like, so that car wasn't sounding very comfortable, but was able to keep it on track, and that's not how you want to start your flying lap, that's for sure. I see Antonio Gamble has joined saying, great race pace, guys. Go Jason Farmer. Wet, wet, wet. It is indeed.
Chris over the line.
5th there for him.
5th.
Here comes Farmer himself. Across the line. Oh, only down in 8th place. Here comes Matthew Wadeley. 6th there for him, right behind Justin Lotus. Where does that put him? Justin spent a lot of time, but that's Justin now just starting a lap.
Yep.
Reno Roberts. 4th place for Reno.
So, top 4 guys all in the 142s. The pace has definitely picked up. Flip van Zyl starting a lap.
Mohat Musa.
He's stopping.
He did
He's
a lap.
in
I think he's invalidated that lap.
I agree. I saw yellow next to his name there. I think he invalidated on that one.
So we're down to the last minute. So the guys that are currently out on track, this will be their final time to get their lap time in and get qualifying.
Pillay, he's starting his lap, so he's left it right until the last minute, which is good
Pretty
thinking,
wise.
Batman.
I did see car number 26 was a couple of corners in.
Okay.
Okay, so I see that's Jabulani Mazivandondo. So he's obviously had a little off there on his qualifying. Mr. Paul Fenter.
Paul Venter's here.
Dare we say Paul, a wall fencer here this evening? Paul, one of the drivers who asked to please join, understanding he is also not classified, but wants to come and hoy with the boys, so to say.
Indeed. His favorite saying, he's going to be hoying millies, but Paul coming across from another community, LNR. Here's Justin Lotus about to finish his lap, and Alpha 1, we'll see where he goes up into. Oh, and there he goes. First place.
Great lap there for him. So that he found an extra 0.1 off Morris's Botma's Porsche. A Flip van Zyl now out of the last corner. He's going to set himself up to cross the line. 10th place there for him. Next up, David Farrell. David goes to pole.
Into the 41s.
41.92 there for David Farrell. So it is currently a Alpha 1 Esports 1-2. Then it is Marius from the LTR. Then it is Andre Serodio Isham from Project Vapor. And then another Alpha 1 Esports. And that's 4th place there for Sanjan Pillay.
Great stuff. So there we go. Mind you, there's drops coming down again, I can see there. Oh, and there it's gone dry. Track is listed as fast, by the way, ladies and gents. So we don't have optimum. That rain has just washed all the rubber off the track. These guys are going to have to hang on to their cars because the grip is not there how it was optimum during practice and earlier today.
So I realize what we can go and do here because you have taught me stuff.
Stuff. Do your stuff there. Come on, let's go. Pit walk. We don't have time. Look at that. Alpha 1 front row lockout. We have Farrell with Justin Lotus next to him, Botma and Pillay. Now we have Serodia with Isham Domingo in the BMW, Roberts, and then Ruan Heineke. 9th is Charles Darden with Chris Heineke in the Porsche in 10th. Matthew Wadeley and Flip van Zyl. Then Mark Hennebury in the Porsche, Emily Benz in her Ferrari, Jason Farmer with Johan van der Venter, and further behind them Stefan Kutzer and Tinus Buerta. 19th position we've got Jandre Bierkes and Andre Hildebrandt. That's your top 20. And you can see how many cars because they're going right round the final chicane. So awesome looking lineup of cars there and a full field. How many did you say we've got? 42, I think.
We have 32 cars that have entered.
Oh, 32.
Yeah.
There we go. So on Zandvoort, that's going to be a mean challenge for everybody involved here today. Great looking field and some impressive drone flying going on there, Dylan.
You know, we got to try and do things that, you know, just make things look a little bit more interesting.
Perfect, man. Love it. Right, so 60 minutes. Here we go. 2 compulsory pit stops required. So pit lane's going to be busy. Dylan and me are going to be busy, but we're going to try and bring you current and up-to-date racing, and we're going to try and bring you all the action as we're about to go live here from Zandvoort in Holland.
And it's so awesome to see the LTR Porsche in the mix there between the Ferraris and the BMWs. And I'm sure Morris is going to be just relishing at this opportunity to take it to those Ferraris. I almost realized I was going to say what he would normally call them, but we'll just keep it at his code coconuts and not get too involved.
Waiting for the lights, waiting for the lights. Here we go.
Green light, give it all you can.
And there's it. Green lights, we're off. Heading down to the hairpin T1 Tarzan corner. And Alpha 1 cars, 1, 2 and almost 3 as that Porsche hangs on to the inside line round the hairpin. Now they head down to turn 2 and then the sharp flick turn 3 going in towards the second hairpin here at Zandvoort.
This is
big
normally
concertina effect.
Oh, and there has
Isham
been...
Domingue goes around in the BM.
Oh, that's Charles Darden not joining quite safely there. But there you can see Sean Domingo in the background there. Morris is still completely spun around there.
Oh. Yeah, the guys are misinterpreting the fast track conditions. There's no grip on the opening couple of corners. So everyone was out wide going through T2, T3 onto the grass, and that induced the spins. But here we go, we're heading into the in section.
Oh, that was the camera. Actually, one you could just see how congested it is as they go in through turn number 8.
Weird. That orange BMW.
That
Gosh.
was Leon having a massive late lunge there, and just collecting a few cars as he went through.
No one spun, thankfully, but a little bit of contact being made. But everyone gathering up their wits, and here we go, coming down to the last chicane. Hard on the brakes so they don't all push through and into the sand trap there. I think it might have been somebody who went a bit deep, but we're on our way. It's Paul the Wolf Enter in the Aston Martin, and here they come now to T14 and then onto the flat out Hurry Lyndike corner, T15 onto the main straight. Oh dear, that Mercedes, that is Jude Neville's Mercedes that was around there, and he's collected a bunch of people.
Let's see if we can actually go back. I think we might have already missed it.
Do a replay there.
Neville, let's see here.
Oh, there we go.
It was Jude just contacting on the back there of, I think,
the other Aston Martin.
It was Jude and Paul. Oh, not too sure. Couldn't quite see who that other car was.
Yeah. Anyway, first lap done and dusted, and we have Alpha 1 racing out, 1 and 2. It's Justin Lotus and
David Farrell out in front.
David Farrell, there we go. Sorry. Car's looking good. Third place hanging in there is Andre Sorodia, our current series leader, with Sunjin Pillay for Alpha 1 in 4th place, and Ruan Heineke rounding out your top 5. His brother Chris Heineke just behind him in his Porsche. Reino Roberts, Emily Bent doing exceptionally well in 8th place. Johan van der Vente and Charles Darden's your top 10.
So let's just change that little graphic so we can see what those gaps are. And I see that Marius Botma, he was spun around at turn 2. Is that he's already moving himself up the order, already up to P28 from 35. So he's really coming back with a vengeance here.
And Isham Domingo, who got turned around in T3, he was literally at the back of the pack, and he's up into 22nd place.
So the pit windows should be opening this very lap. So the guys on those, I'd say, incident laps could definitely start looking at doing that pit stop and getting themselves a bit of clean air and start their comeback.
These, the leaders, already look like they're in amongst lapping traffic already. David Farrell still out ahead of Justin Lotus by 7 tenths. Andre Sorodia 3 seconds back, and Sunjin Pillay 2.3 seconds back. But there we go. It's the green Ferraris right there.
So who you're actually seeing, it is actually Sanjin in 4th, then it's Ruan 5th, Chris Heineke 6th, and Rainer Robertson 7th. So these are guys for position. A little bit further back is Johan VDV. He's in 9th place, and he's got Charles Darden and Mark Hennebree all over the back of him.
That fabulous matte sand-colored Porsche of Johan VDV. Holding on to the position just ahead of Charles Darden in his Ferrari, and then as you said, Mark Hennebree in his Porsche just behind them. Interesting different lines as they come through there with the different pace they take through the last chicane. That orange BMW very loose in the background, just caught it, and Tennis Boot is sanding one up the inside for hybrid and makes it stick, and onto the start finish line they go. You're saying the pit lane should be open.
There we go. So we've just had that notification that the pit lane is now open, so we should start seeing some of those guys. You can see in the background Jude Neville having a little dive to the pits there. And Chris Heineke all over the back of brother Ruan now within half a second.
Ulrich de Jager actually, who bailed into the pits in the Ferrari. But yeah, Chris all over the back of Ruan, and he's probably pushing him. I wonder if they're in the same comms while on track. Must be, hey?
I think they... I don't think they would be. Maybe not. I think he might be in the same comms as Mark Hennebree.
Oh yeah, good point.
So Marius Botman already up into 25th place. So he is definitely making a comeback here. Now just trying to find a way around Rob van der Heever, fellow stablemate, and our new driver Ronnie, looking to try and get around Mfezeko.
Also, update on the other Project Vapor, Muat Musa in 27th, who started right at the back of the grid. So positions have been made over the first couple of laps. The BMW is looking pretty clean, so nice clean passes, no contact being made, and pace is being made up as they come along. Just behind him, I see that's Andrea Bruggioni in the Lamborghini. I think that's the car that could have spun.
Oh yes, it does look like it's taken a bit of damage. So it looks like he might have just been tagged on the back there by Jude.
Yeah, and then just behind them we saw Paul Fenter who navigated around them. So it wasn't Paul, but yeah, he was he was involved with Jude Neville in the crash.
So Paul up on the inside, and unfortunately that allows Sham Domingo to have a move. So Sham up into 20th place, but Paul Fenter into 21st. But I do want to just jump here because this is in pure SARCO fashion. We're now fighting for 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and we've got 6 cars all basically within 2 seconds of a gap.
Nose to tail train as they come over the sand dunes here at Zandvoort, and everybody having to pretty much single file through here. It's very difficult to actually make a pass stick. Tennis having a look in the hybrid car, the orange BMW also having a look. Now we see different lines as they come into this Vodafone corner, turn 11, and Johan VDV in the Porsche managing to manage the lead ahead of all of these guys. Oh, in the background we see the Lexus. Oh, commentator's curse. I shouldn't have said a word.
So as long as he just holds onto the inside there, it should be fine. But now he just needs to get up to pace, because just look at that. He has got another 4 cars behind him. But that's both Flip van Zyl and Tinus Buerta, who now move themselves up ahead of Johan. Johan now down to 14th place, but still up 2 from where he qualified.
Indeed.
Yes, that BMW's got pace. Look at that.
BMW's got huge horsepower, goes around the outside. And yeah, they come into T1. Everybody hard on the brakes. Oh, Porsche mounting the curbs, needs to just recorrect, lets the Ferrari go up the inside. Ferrari's going to have and he doesn't, he falls back in line behind. Very close racing here, Dylan.
And that's very smart racing there by Terry Walford, who's behind VDB in the P16. And then Marco Mazzato notes, we saw him having a little error that had him touching the grass into turn 1 at Nürburg and go crashing through Chris Heineke. So good to see Marco fighting in the mid-pack here.
Yeah. Marco also running one of the big V8s, the Lexus. And good to have him in a different manufacturer on the track. Watching Marius Botner here as he's following in the footsteps of Nkulu in the white Mercedes-Benz AMG. I do like those liveries on that Porsche and the McLarens, I must say. Some great effort's gone into some of the liveries here.
Is that Morris going to try the little cutback? Oh, just
Little
getting that a little
contact
bit
on
wrong.
the Mercedes.
Exactly that. But Chris Heineke going into the pits. I wonder whether that was him finding he was getting a little bit stuck behind his brother.
Yeah.
Because 136.6 there for him. But it looks like that's what Ruan Heineke was doing, as well as Sanjan Pillay and Andres Herodio. So they were all kind of doing very, very similar lap times there.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think Chris feeling he was maybe getting held up and he was going to try the undercut to get ahead of Ruan, his brother. So we'll monitor that as we go along. Remember, this is 60 minutes, but 2 pit stops required. And the fact that it's dry, these guys know that they have to monitor the tires they're on. There are only 3 sets, but they would have been out on, I would have said, wets in the quali. So they do have 3 full sets in this race.
Correct. So I'm just looking at the chat here quickly. Just seeing Malote saying he's sitting this one out. Obviously, having seen the qualifying in the wet. We've then got Andre Gabrielisa saying hi all, as well as AD, our king of the emojis, is back. How's it, AD? Lekker to have you with us, man. And Mr. Hansi Marburg saying lekker, boys. How's it?
How's it, Hansi?
I'll tell you who is looking racy is Mr. Terry Wolford, who was in 16th place. He's up to 14th and is putting all sorts of pressure on the back of Ati in his 60 BMW.
Very, very indeed. As you said, the BM's got good power, but this is Terry Wolford that we're watching in the Ferrari, the Terry Wolford. What did you see?
I saw this, side by side. Can Tinus Butter go around the outside? Yes, he can. Through turn number 12. Oh, just touching the dirt on the exit there.
Couple of cars in the pits.
What is going on here? It keeps changing cameras. It's not what I wanted to do. Ruan Heineke has gone into the pits.
So he is now trying to cover Chris Heineke's move from the previous lap. Be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Chris.
So we have had one of those weird glitches because it was showing that Tinus was in first place, but it's all settled again. Tinus is now in 10th with Flip Pansel just behind him.
David Farrell, your current leader, still with Justin Lotus. Team Alpha 1, they are out in the front. David Farrell, 135.7. So guys are doing quick lap times. I'm sure the track should have moved into optimum by now. But we will see as their fuel loads drop also and fresh tires, these guys should put in quicker lap times.
So that lap time that you see in the 135.7, it's showing that is a slower lap, but a faster first sector is purple. His fastest lap time was the lap, not this one he's just done, but the one before.
Okay.
And that was actually a 135.71, so he's right on the pace, and also just shows how consistent he is. His last 3 laps have been within 0.1 of a second.
Wow. Oh, look at this.
Sanjan Pillay trying to just put Andres Herodio on his toes a little bit there, and unfortunately for the Alpha 1 esports driver, he was just not able to get that car up on the inside.
I'll tell you what, Daryl, Andres Herodio is a massive Alpha 1 sandwich right now.
And you're not
he
joking.
Is the meat in the middle of a Dagwood worth of hot dog right now with these Alpha 1 cars. 2 in front, 2 behind. He doesn't know which way to look. It's just green and black Ferraris.
Well, all he needs to do is rather not worry about the ones in front, but I mean, worry about the ones at the back, but worry about those ones in front. Jason
Indeed.
Farmer, I see he is making some headway onto the back of Charles Darden. 137.7 for Charles last lap, 137.3 for Farmer. Farmer up 6 places from where he qualified.
Good looking livery on that McLaren. Sorry to
There
just jump
has
in there.
been a overtake.
The BMW.
If we can just go back here, let's see what happened here. So this is Ati Pino. Looked like he had already made that overtake. Terry that is correct, currently in 13th place now. And Terry Wolford putting pressure now on the team captain, Flip van Zyl. And just behind him
Oh,
is our Alpha 1 Esports Muad Musa.
you mean Vapor?
Project Vapor. Sorry, Muad. Sorry. sorry.
There goes the
Oh,
Ferrari up the inside. Gee, good pass. Terry Wilford putting all the pressure on him, and Flip going wide through T1, and that's even
Flip
allowed
will be
Muad
on the
now.
inside. Muad has to give him the space around the outside, side by side on the exit out of turn number 3. And Flip having to slot in behind. For a second there, it looked like Flip's
Good
car
racing.
actually had merged inside the
It
BMW.
did. We couldn't see it at all. There was some good racing there. Good respect being shown by all the drivers.
David Farrell, fastest lap, 135.4, so found another 0.2 on that fastest time. But the man right behind him, Justin Lotus, just at a 135.5. So he too finding some pace.
When Kulu's falling down the timing boards, he has been turned around. There he gets going in the Mercedes. He had a contact.
Oh! So it looked like he might have just lifted off the power as that car transitioned. I know exactly what that feels like. So yes, a big unfortunate moment there for him. Andre Hildebrandt up 4 places from having qualified in 16th place. He is starting to lose a little bit of time there between himself and Marco Zadanato Head, who's currently in 15th place. But
2 places. Oh, he's in. He's in.
Going in for the pit stop. Possibly not wanting to take on too much more of that pressure. The man who's soaking up the pressure is currently Andre Serodio. He has got Sanjan Play and Rainer Roberts right on his tail.
Yeah, Andre Serodio doing exceptionally well. I was just watching in the background behind the guy who went into the pits now, and Malosi's Hello Kitty Pink Bentley doing quite well as we see these now going side by side through the chicane.
What a move by Sanjan.
Great pass.
Basically slotted it on the inside, set it up on the outside through turn number 10, which put him on the inside for 11.
Exactly.
Serodio had to give him the space on the outside, and he is definitely pulled that place away from Andre, and that is pulling Rainer Roberts with him.
What's
Will there
this
be
down
a
the
late
straight?
lunge? Going
Up
very
against the wall.
defensive.
Everyone moving around, and the other Ferrari goes up the inside.
And Rainer Roberts slots it up on the inside into turn number 1. And that finds Andres Serodio now dropping down 2 places in the matter of those 2 corners.
So there we go. Alpha 1 Esports 1, 2, 3, 4 right now on the track as you see them. Although there is a bit of a big gap of something 10 seconds in between them. No, I lie. Something's changed. Someone's gone into the pits. Our leader has gone into the pits.
Well, we've currently got Justin Lotus out in front. So where is David Farrell? Here's David Farrell. So now coming out of the pits, having pitted once now already. So he is the highest positioned out of pits driver. The next one is this man, Ruan Haneke. You can see making up a couple of places as he crosses that start-finish line. He comes
there's
out
Chris.
ahead
Yep.
of his brother.
Yeah. So a little bit of an undercut, and it did gain him a couple of tenths, but he's further ahead than they were.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan Ottens, for approving of this. You can see he's watching and definitely cheering on his Alpha 1 esports team.
Indeed.
Malotse is trying to have a move on the inside of Rob van der Heever. Going
the Lexus.
to...
Jeez,
Oh,
the Lexus
Marco
was
is
sideways.
getting very sideways there.
Wow.
That
See,
should
Terry
be...
Wolford's just come out the pits as well, so his pit stop's done.
So
Hello, Kitty.
only a one pit stop done by each of the drivers, because we now currently past that first 20-minute mark. There is going to be 40 minutes. There's still one more pit stop to go.
Justin Lotus in and Tennis Water in. So the other team, Alpha 1 cars, coming into the pits. Guys, 2 pit stops, so they got to get them done. We're 40 minutes and counting. So on a 60-minute, 1-hour race, they ideally will be pitting 20 minutes and 20 minutes.
And
So
you kind of
we
split
round
it up
at-
exactly
yeah.
into those two 3 20-minute sprint races,
Exactly.
and give it all that you've got. I must say, Andres Rodeo behind Rainer Roberts, he has definitely caught up this lap, but Rainer had pulled away just a little bit from him. But Andres Rodeo fighting back and not letting that Alpha 1E driver get away from him.
No, hanging on to his coattails, and currently sitting in third as we jump down to Rob van der Heever here in the Ferrari.
We see that Malotse has been able to get that Bentley ahead of him.
And great to see that car. Oh, he makes a bit of a gap. I think that's our leader coming through. One of the Alpha 1
Yes, that
esports
is
cars.
David Farrell. So that was a good awareness there from Rob, seeing that that driver obviously had pitted, and a very short pit stop here, because
Yeah.
looking at total time stopped 32.4 seconds, and time traveling in pits 22.6. So we're looking at just on about, what's that, 55 seconds for a pit
Yeah.
stop. So currently in pits now is Mark Hennery and Rainer Roberts, followed by another person coming to the pits. That is Andre Hildebrandt.
Who's that Alpha 1 car there? I mean, I
That
can't
is
see-
Rainer Roberts.
there. Okay, there we
Sorry,
go.
as I clicked on Renault, Johan van der Venter drove past and took his there we go. Took Renault's position.
Good. I want to see where they all peel out once the first set of pit stops are done. I'm sure there's still a couple of drivers here who might also entertain the
Oh wow,
late.
that's
race
quite
start.
interesting, because now what's
What's
happened
that?
after that pit stop is Rainer Roberts has actually slotted in behind Ruan and Chris Heineke. Because here we go, just ahead. There is Ruan Heineke,
Yeah, yeah.
Chris Heineke, and Rainer Roberts. So
And
where it
they
looked
pitted
like,
way earlier, huh?
yeah, where it looked like Renault was in 5th place, technically this has actually got him down into 7th.
Yeah. The earlier pit stops for the Heinekes, the undercut's very strong, and clearly they've managed to jump positions. Also showing that Renault Roberts was obviously being held up a bit in traffic, as is David Farrell here, because pitting is going to bring you back out in amongst the field and in traffic, slowing them down. So that's one of the risks you run if you're going to pit during in the middle of the race versus early pit stops.
And just looking at the current gap, so Ruan Heineke is about 10 seconds away from David Farrell, and that would basically put Ruan... Wow!
And did you see that?
I did. So it
Yo.
looked like David was trying to get the
slipstream.
slipstream and realized that it was going to go into the pits. And you had both Marco and Johan VDV going into the pits at the same time.
There was exit stage left like you can't believe.
So Chris Heineke has got ahead of brother Ruan.
Indeed, he has. The Porsche's overpowered the Ferrari. See, exclamation yellow for Matsi Vadondo, so he must have had a moment somewhere.
So it is still on track. And up 11 places in 18th, so that's a great current position there for him.
Yeah.
Look at this. Andre Sorodio is not letting this position go as he moves to the inside into turn number one.
The challenge. Oh, my word, watch this. That 60 BMW's in the way, and now he's out the way. He's slowed down the Ferrari, and the Ferrari's got nowhere to go. He got boxed on the outside.
That was so unfortunate, and that definitely worked into Andre's favor there. At first, Sanjan Pillay saw the BMW coming. That is actually Ati, who got out of the way to try not to get involved, and unfortunately slowed down Sanjan.
Wow. Talk about a bit of bad luck, or depending on who you're commentating for. Good luck for Andre and bad luck for Sanjan there. What Musa, here he is in the BM right behind Emily Benz.
So we're approaching just under 35 minutes left to go, and we do have Mohamed Musa currently in 22nd place, fighting Emily. Emily's fastest lap, 36.7, and Mohamed Musa just 0.9 of a second quicker as Emily goes a little bit sideways. That should allow Mohamed to get the drive, set up the overtake on the inside at 8, and that should be all she wrote there from Mohamed.
Emily looking very racy again in a Ferrari. Great to see a girl here kind of dishing out a bit of pain to all the thorns. Paul the Wolf Enter in his big Aston Martin as that hammers around the final chicane, and he's looking ahead at Stefan Kutz's Ferrari. Do I see that correct? Is Isham Domingo got the quickest lap of this race so far?
That is 100% correct. Isham Domingo is currently on a 135.4. Into 14th place, so down 8th from where he started.
Terry Wolford.
Terry Wolford?
I think there's been contact.
Between himself and Flip and Sail, we should be able to go back and have a quick squiz. Oh. It just had happened, so that was more than 20 seconds ago, unfortunately.
Bump, and there we go.
So I must say, Emily is not giving up lightly up against the BMW ahead of her, because still within 0.5 of a second. Just
exactly.
Seeing Frankie coming up onto the stream saying he keeps having lagging issues, can't compete, just gets dangerous, he had to DNF. Unfortunately, coconuts, man. Unfortunately, Frankie, sorry, man.
It's bad luck, Frankie. Paul is in the wall. I'm sorry to say, as you were reading that, I saw his Aston Martin up against the wall. So there he is. I'm not too sure.
Oh, so that was more than 20 seconds ago. Unfortunately, he was already there.
Following Matsi Vadondo in the McLaren. Paul's still stuck there, so that looks like a hardware problem for him.
Yeah.
Sabata in the pits.
That has allowed the likes of Andrew, Rob, and Marius to move up a couple of positions. So Rob finally having a little look to the inside there of Andrew and his Aston Martin on the exit out of turn number 3, and I just love this little section, the way it just dips down. You could just feel how that car grips up as it transitions through the right-hander. Then it gets very light up down the hill, and then as that car compresses at the bottom, it just gives all that grip back again. It really is a fun track as Morris has a go on the inside, and
Up
that
the
will
inside.
move him up into 18th place, ahead now of Rob van der Heever.
I think I'm having a little internet issue here. My YouTube stream has got a round and round and round.
So quite interestingly enough, is Rainer Roberts is, dare I say, stuck behind Ron Heineke. He was only 0.1 quicker the last lap. But Ron really keeping him at bay now, and still within a couple of seconds of his brother. Ooh, to the inside goes Renault.
Yeah.
So Renault gets the better drive out of turn number 9. Then puts it up on the inside through 10 and now out through 11.
So Pillay still leading, but he's just gone into the pits, or is just exited the pits. As you just changed screens there. Just go up to the leaderboard.
Let's just go find Sanjin.
There we go.
Yeah, Sanjin in the pits. There goes Mohat Musa. So I think that would be Mohat's second pit stop now.
Right. Andres Aradia, not Muat.
Did I get that wrong? Oh yes, correct. Andre Seradio. So that is his first pit stop, and he now comes out in P5 behind Ruan, Renault, and Chris Heineke, who's basically in second place. Is Chris Heineke. So
Yep.
the strategy for the two Heineke brothers to pit early definitely has worked.
Definitely, because that brought them out into kind of clear air, where the leaders pitted after 20 minutes and threw them out into traffic, or they were in traffic with their racing. So the Heineke's styling as they come along here strong, second and third, now second and fourth. David Farrell still leading, and Andres Heredia rounding out your top 5.
So I did see that an Alpha E1 going around Marco Bezuidenhout. Marco is down in 23rd place. So is that Renault Roberts we are seeing in the background? Yes, we are indeed. So Renault now is starting to open up the gap between himself and Ruan. That gap now 1.5 seconds. And Marco really stuck now in between the battle for the leaders here. You can see a little flash of the hazards there as Renault got past Marco.
Yeah, Marco stuck behind the Lexus, getting the flag shown, but he now has moved over and he's allowed him to float by around the outside into T1. So Ruan Heineke, on he goes.
And Andres Seradio just behind. All I can say is we are in for an almighty last 15 minutes.
Indeed.
Because I'm sure guys are going to be figuring out on that pit stop, are they going to run just that little bit longer? Look at the benefit I got when I was out of the traffic. So we are definitely in for an absolute cracker.
And we're under half an hour left, 27 minutes to go. And the majority of the field, if not all, still have one full pit stop to do.
So the people who have pitted twice are Marco Ulrich, Matthew Wadeley, and Atipino, Malote, and Andre Hildebrandt. Those are the two drivers that I've got as pitting twice.
Okay.
Further up, Emily Benz. So she's currently in 16th place. So that's actually put her quite well. And if I look at her pit stop, her last pit stop, she actually gained 2 seconds on that pit stop. So that was a great entry stop on the box, directly straight up, and out she went.
Yeah, no wasting time. Oh, that McLaren, that's, I think it was Matsip Verdonda. No?
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
A little too deep there into turn number 1. So Flip Van Zyl all over the back of Terry Walford. Terry currently in 12th place. A great effort there for the Mobil 1 V8 driver. It looks like he really is having fun in that Ferrari.
Dylan, who does he race for? What's the team? Is it SARCO? It can't be SARCO. I mean, it's NAG and all that, but does he have an official team?
He races with the LTR team.
Oh, okay.
So SARCO is kind of the home club of the LTR team. But Terry Wilfred has come from the console days at SARCO, and that's where his
Yes.
his sim racing career started, is with SARCO.
Okay.
I can tell you who is having an almighty battle, and this is Tennis versus Jason Farmer. And it is McLaren versus McLaren. We saw Tennis going around the outside of Flip Van Zyl at turn 12. Is that on the cards now between himself and Jason Farmer?
Tennis has definitely come to light and has shone brightly in this McLaren. He's been driving it since early January, that I can remember, and he's just got quicker and quicker with the car, so he's very comfortable in the McLaren. But it does get a little bit more difficult when you're racing another McLaren because the cars are so evenly matched.
And it does all come down to set up different driving styles. And it does look like Jason, it looked like he got out of turn number 9 a little bit better than Tennis did. But
Yes.
we know that Tennis has got lots and lots of confidence coming out of turn 12 and 13. So definitely going to want to see what happens in these next couple of corners. Oh, Jason just touching the grass on the exit there. But now, I was say Jason, but that's no. So, oh,
Who are they passing? It's an
not
Alpha
sure.
1
It's an
car.
Alpha 1 car. Tennis going to the inside. That has definitely worked in his favor. But Jason will now be on the inside. But Tennis goes around the outside. So great maneuver there for Tennis, moving himself up into a 9th place. Who's the other
Who is
Alpha
that?
1? Oh, it's Matthew.
Yeah. Matthew Wadley. Okay, there we go. Good catch.
Man that
So-
has been pretty quiet this evening has been Etienne Maton. We haven't heard much of him. Seen 3 places up from P23 from qualifying, and is chasing Andrew Ambrogioni. Andrew in the Aston Martin. He is up 5 places from where he started in P24 up to a 19th position. Jabulani Mazivandono into the pits he goes.
Into the pits. And here comes a Porsche.
I think that is Morris Botma. Oh. It must have been one of the Heinekes. It's Chris
Lepere.
Heineke. Chris
Mahmoud
Heineke
Musa
into
also in.
Porsche.
And Chris, yeah. And a Ferrari. So, pits lighting up. Here we go. And it's pretty much on cue, 23 minutes and counting. So this is the second stint finish then, if people are breaking it up into 3.
just want to
Chris sitting
see.
there for quite a while.
Remember they got mandatory tire changes. So that's now 36, 37,
It's a
38,
long stop.
39, 40 seconds.
Off the jacks, there he's going. It was a long stop. Maybe a bit of refuel there. Frankie saying, Chris. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, it's just let them jump out. So 55 seconds on the money. So that was a pretty good one there for Chris Heineke. So now interesting enough, Emily Bent, who's in 14th place, is only the main straight behind Chris Heineke. And Chris pitted in 2nd place. So Emily is really well positioned here this evening.
Indeed. Looking good out there.
Ulrich de Jager is starting to put pressure on the back of Marco in that Lexus. Ulrich up 1 place from qualifying P21. And is that our race leader just
I
behind him?
think it is. Yeah.
No, it's not. Is it? Oh no, it's
Is
one
it
of
St.
the
Jude?
other. It must be St. Jude. So there we go. That's St. Jude play right behind there.
Yeah.
They're currently in 5th place. Ulrich gets out of the way.
Nice of the young man, getting shown a couple of blue flags, and he's very on the outside as they go through the hairpin. That allows Johan VDB to go up the inside, and he's right on the tail of that Ferrari. St. John coming over the sand dunes now, and track's probably offering full grip now in optimum conditions. The sun is out, so I don't think we're going to see any rain, but never say never, as St. John now goes up the inside of the Lexus and nails that in the Renault curves, and now heading towards the commonly known... Oh, and the Lexus has just tagged him. He caught that very well, but the Lexus did outbrake himself and just...
Oh, yeah. Ew, that was well caught there by St. John, and well done by Ulrich to not go into St. John.
Hanging out there, and is he still ahead? He is. So onto the start-finish line they go. Etienne Mouton here, car number 12 in the McLaren. Ooh. As he goes past the Aston Martin there.
And it looked like that Andrew was actually going to be able to hang on to that place, but he looked like he went a little bit too deep into that braking zone, into turn number 1. And see Jean Domingo, he's just moved up a place there, past Terry Wilfred. Oh, Terry just getting it a little bit wrong, and just opening the door and allowing Isham to go through.
So it's very easy to outbrake yourself and run deep, and carrying so much pace after you've come over the sand dunes through the Marlborough corner. If you run a little bit wide there, you out on the grass, it just sucks you right off the track.
So here is Ruan Heineke out of the pits. Where has it put him in relation to his brother Chris? Chris is around turn number 3, so there definitely is a larger gap now. And looking at the last pit stops, that was a 55.2 for Chris Heineke. Ruan, he did a 56.3. So there's 1.5 seconds that Ruan lost in the pit stop, unfortunately.
Yeah. Some good stats and details there, Dylan.
David Farrell. This is going to be interesting. Out the pits goes Atipino.
Renault Roberts currently leading. Andres Aradia is there. St. Pilla in 3rd. Mark Henneberry and David Farrell was in 5th, but with him in the pits, the guys are coming past now. That should be David Farrell's 2nd pit stop, correct?
That is correct. So he is currently still in the pits. He should be on his way out. We'll see the breakdown now. So total pit stop time there for him, 55.8. So still 0.8 of a second slower than Chris Heineke. And the gap between David Farrell and Chris Heineke is 9 seconds.
All right. Frankie asking what's the next round. So after this round, in a week's time, we go to Paul Ricard in France. That is round 3, and that's a 75-minute race that we'll be having there next week.
And only 1 pit stop required. Maybe we get some actual rain there, and then we got to force a 2 stop. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'll be a big challenge.
And then 2 weeks after that is the 12 hours of Paul Ricard hosted by SARCO. Whoa! Andres Arodio having an almighty battle with Sanjan Pillay, but it's actually Sanjan who has got the position.
He has.
No, it's Rainer Roberts, unfortunately. Apologies, not Sanjan. It's Rainer Roberts who is in first place.
So this is the dice for first place?
For first place, correct.
Interesting.
So that gap between...
Radio almost had him there.
The gap between David and Chris Heineke is now down to 8.2 seconds, down from 9. So Chris has definitely got the hammer down and is trying to close down that Alpha E1 driver.
Andres Aradia driving like a madman possessed here for Project Vapor. Muat Musa, a couple of, at least Isham Domingo, a couple of positions further back in 10th place, and Muat Musa also still coming along strong.
Lots of pit stops happening. Mark Hennebury goes into the pits. Flip van Sale, Isham Domingo. Emily Bentz is on her way in as well. So very, very busy. And it's just before that 15-minute mark. And this is when I said it is going to become absolutely frantic. We saw what Reino, Andre, Sanjan, Charles, and Jason Farmer still to pit. So the top 5 need to pit. And that's going to really determine where our net first placed driver David Farrell is going to slot out. And Andres Herodio is still applying that pressure onto the back of that Ferrari.
I'm super impressed with that Ferrari held them all up a little bit, but the BMW showing some huge pace here.
Through the inside.
Side by side.
Too wide there. That definitely doesn't work. That Ferrari looked very, very loose as he went up over the hill.
Wow.
But Reino able to keep that power down, hanging onto it, and throwing it as wide as possible.
This is some good stuff. A good race to watch going on here by both drivers. And you can see Andres Herradia's putting his nose in where it shouldn't be, just to try and get into the line of sight of Rano Roberts, who knows exactly what's going on, and he's defending like the man that he is. It's a bit of a gap developed now.
Also, Ati Pino, currently the next closest person, and he is closing up onto Jabulani Madzibandondo. We're just behind there. Lucas Hubert currently in 29th position. Oh, Stephen Kutsia. He's got a little yellow on him.
That's T1.
Let's see what has transpired here. Oh. Had every right to be there, was on the inside of the coming out of the pits, but definitely caught him out.
Right, back live, here we go, as Stefan Kutzer heads out in the awesome liveried Red Bull Ferrari.
And it's happened.
It is, Andres Heredia.
Sanjan Pillay has dropped down the order, and has a 10-second gap between Andre and
That's
Sanjan.
Roberts. Rainer Roberts is in the pits.
Oh my gosh, these cars, they've completely keeping up. Yes, I can see it now. Rainer Roberts in the pits.
There we go. So Sanjan's up into second. So Rainer's come out. He's decided to get out of the way of this BMW. So Andre's still got a pit stop to do, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay,
And
so we want to watch.
Will he have the pace to jump Rainer Roberts? That's the question.
He's got no traffic now, so he's driving now like he's never driven before. We've got to see. Here's Rainer Roberts as he goes round, because I guarantee Sorodio will go in either on this lap or the next lap.
And Rainer Roberts has slotted himself in between the Heineke brothers. So between Chris, who's 10 seconds ahead, and 3.2 seconds behind him is Ruan. Which technically means that Andres Herodio is going to be in this realm as well, unless he's able to find a couple of seconds and get himself
He's in the
higher
pits.
up.
He's in the pits. He's in the pits. Straight away he comes in. So let's follow. We can see what happens now with Rainer Roberts, because this is going to be, does he come out in front or behind this BMW? That's the question.
Some insight for you, Alan, is Rainer Roberts' pit stop. That was a 58.3. So that is 3 seconds more than what the normal guys are doing. So that would tell me that if it wasn't for that 3 seconds, he would have been a little bit higher up the order.
Yeah, but I think to run that pace, he ran a lighter load, so they had to take fuel on.
But that fuel should be included in the tire change time. Chris Heineke, currently fastest man on track, a 135.1 there for him. So here comes Andres Herodio out of the pits. does he get ahead of Reino Roberts? The answer is yes, he does. There's Reino
Yes.
coming into turn number 1.
Look at that. So,
And Reino is behind Andre, and Andre is behind Chris Heineke.
yeah, you're right. So 58 seconds. He either got caught up in some traffic or he shot his pit box and had to go backwards. Something weird happened in his pit stop to lose those 2 or 3 seconds. Because who's that sideways? We
Was
just
that-
missed a green. Was it a McLaren? Was it Matsivadando possibly?
There's a green McLaren. Then that would have been Mazibandoda.
I think it
So
was.
Chris Heineke, his was the minimum stop time that we've seen, and he did it
Okay.
twice in a row, which is a
So-
55.2. Oof,
Team-
that car got very, very sideways in that braking zone.
Very, very.
So Isham Domingo up into 10th place. Starting to move his way up the field. And the man who nearly put it on pole, Marius Botma, you can see that up into 13th place, down 10 from where he had started. So definitely not the result that he would have wanted, but I'm sure he would have enjoyed the challenge of fighting through the pack here this evening.
Yeah. Just under 10 minutes now. So into the last 10 minutes, give or take 5 laps from here, and we at the end of the race. Team Alpha 1 Esports back up at the top tier. Sunjin Pillay currently leading, but I think he's still got a pit stop.
He has one more pit to go, which means that depending on where he comes out, David is
David
nah,
Farrell's.
yeah. Wow.
That was close. That
That
was
was
a
close.
really bad place to put a car.
And that's tennis now being
Oh!
Andre Hildebrandt. Oh, there's contact there with Chris Heineke in the background.
Wow. That car was either recovering or sideways, and I think Chris collected it. David Farrell just missed it.
And I'm sure David is feeling that pressure now, because there is Chris Heineke just behind him. And he is stuck behind a battle, and the guys in front of him are fighting for 14th, 15th and 16th place. And I don't think that they even know that this is effectively the race leader coming through.
Sunjin's in the pits.
So
Tennis
Tennis
going down
Botha,
the inside. Yo.
and that's for a move on Terry. But now Terry looks like he's going to try and want to defend. And unfortunately going a little bit wide. Is that still going to hold up David? Because now look at that in the background. That's Chris Heineke, who's now been released from that car,
Yep.
who was Emily Benz. And this is now effectively that race for first and second place, because Sanjan Pillay has come out of the pits in 6th position.
Yeah.
So that,
Chris
ladies and
is-
gentlemen, is your first and second place fighting for position behind some back markers.
Ugh. Chris has played a blinder here, and he's done really well. David Farrell's going to have to watch his mirrors like a hawk. And Terry Wilford's not helping the situation at all.
But it's all about not losing your cool, because that's when you can crash into the car ahead. And with you doing that, and he's going to have a dive and hits the
Ooh.
curb, has a go on the inside, and rejoins on the track, but takes Terry with him. Chris Heineke now around the outside, right behind David now. And David, I'm pretty sure, going to be carrying a little bit of damage for the next 6 and a bit minutes. But that was very intense stuff there
Opportunistic.
from David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening. That's very opportunistic. And as you say, I think he's going to be carrying a bit of damage. Possibly you'll have to field a couple of incident reports, I suspect.
It's my favorite way to spend the weekend. So Andres Rodeo in third place, and there just behind is Rainer Roberts. So talk about the positions changing up all the time.
Yep.
And it's just those stops in the pits where David Farrell, he did a 55.8. Chris Heineke, 55.2. Andres Rodeo, a 57.7.
Wow.
Rainer Roberts, 58.3, and it's just those few little seconds that if Renault had kept that 1.5 seconds, that would have put him right on the rear bumper of Andres Rodeo, but now there's more than 2 seconds is that gap.
And we go back with David Farrell and Chris following in his footsteps in the Porsche.
And it looks like it is getting cloudy. The track temperature has dropped down 3 degrees from when it was nice and sunny a couple of 20 minutes ago. It has dropped 3 degrees, so that's going to be putting a little bit of...
Pit window is closing now.
Have we got all drivers having done their pit stop? Jabulani Mazivandono has only done 1 pit, so that's not going to work in his favor at all.
Is there a pit window? Is it closed yet?
It is just closed. I've just heard it. It said that pit window is now closed.
Well, that's bad luck for Mazivandono. Moed Musa. Oh no, he is done. Okay, that's just a timing gap. So it looks like Chris Heineke is falling off the back of this Ferrari of David Farrell.
Yeah, David has been putting in 0.2 of a second quicker than Chris Heineke the last 2 laps. Oh, Chris goes wide. And coming out of turn number 7 there. Oh, sorry, it's actually out of 6. It was a little bit wide.
4 minutes to go here, so pretty much 2 laps from where we are now. I think he'll hold on to this position.
So Matthew in 23rd place, currently within a second of Stefan Garcia. Starting to close up onto the back of Stefan. Having gone 2 seconds quicker that lap, and Stefan is very, very sideways and managed just to catch it. If that car had gone the other way.
Yes, today. He caught that well. He literally hit the tarmac and went right.
Exactly. I have a saying. It would have sent him to Jesus.
Okay, I'm with you. I see Matsivandondo registering in the pits now, but you're saying it's too late for him, yeah?
Yeah, he has unfortunately missed that pit window.
Bad luck.
Rainer Roberts closing up onto the back of Andres Rodo. This is the last spot. Ooh, so I saw a little dust cloud there.
Yep.
Is that
Emily Benz just up ahead there? Well, on track ahead.
Yeah. So is she going to come into play here with the last spot of the podium? And Rainer Roberts finding half a second a lap over Andres Rodeo here.
David Farrell also pulling out a 2-second gap now over Chris Heineke, so he's doing also okay. Alpha One Esports hanging on there, and yes, the rain.
No ways.
Oh no, with 2 minutes left, they're not going to pit, so hopefully it pours down and gets wet. But I think the guys will still drive the slicks out to the end of the race.
Yeah, they should hang on. I say should, but is this going to be that one last desperate call of something drastic to happen? But the fact that it is raining is made me so happy inside. I don't feel for the drivers, I can tell you that much.
No. It's just...
But a little bit of rain hasn't hurt anyone. It just helps clean those cars off.
There we go.
Chris Heineke
he's closing in again now.
Has closed up. I wonder whether all of a sudden that Ferrari is not happy in the rain, which is allowing Chris to close up, because That was half a second that Chris closed up that last lap. And I don't know if you saw just coming over the crest there, that was Andres Rodeo and Rayner Roberts. So if we just do this, we should be able to see. That's Andres Rodeo.
Yep. We've got Emily Bentz in the sandwich in between them, and this is Chris. So the gaps look pretty much similar. Under a minute to go now.
So Andres Rodeo is only 2.5 seconds behind Chris Heineke, with this now being the final lap. Oh, you can hear those tires squealing for the grip as Chris gets that braking a little bit too deep, climbs up the curve, and there you go. That's first, second, third, and fourth place is what you saw in the same shot.
Radio's right there. I don't know. They might have another lap here. It's 17 seconds from this corner. I think they've got to do another lap.
He's going to have to. You can't slow down enough here because at 5 seconds, there's the start-finish line.
Okay, the leader is on
Here
the
we
final
go.
lap.
There we go.
We told you.
First, second,
One more
third, and
lap to
fourth.
go.
This is the one final lap. It's almost like the winner takes all. Who can keep it on the track and not go off?
And believe us if we tell you that those tires are cooling down at a rapid rate because of the moisture on the track.
And
So,
what's happening down here, this is 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It's Andrew
Waderly.
with Matthew Wadley and Stefan Kutsia having an almighty little battle there down the order, and all trying to hang on to keep this car together.
David Farrell. Where are we here?
So currently in through turn number 7.
The
I
BM.
think that's-
Oh, what a slide he got there. He just caught that. That was almost Chris's opportunity. That Ferrari was sideways. Chris has run deep into turn 10. Oh, and the BM's gone round at turn 10. It's all happening now.
And I think that's just Ati coming off from
Grass.
the grass
Yeah.
onto the track. That's first, second, third, and fourth place.
Look
Who
how
would have
close
thought?
Andres Radio is.
Who would have thought it would have come down to this?
Wow, they've got to stop these cars coming into the chicane. Oh yes, there's been a Chris. He's right there. Oh,
Chris
he's
is-
right there.
Chris has battled to get that power on out of the turn number 11. And it's going to be on a mighty dash to the line now. Can
David
Chris
Farrell.
keep that car turned in?
There we go.
Chris
Oh,
goes
he's
wide.
on the grass. And
But
he hangs
there
on
we
to it.
go.
Gee, what a finish.
David Farrell
Wow.
comes home in first, and that's your shot there for first, second, third, and fourth place.
Look
It
at
is
that.
David, Chris, Andre, Reno. Sanjan Pillay comes home in fifth place. Sixth, a great drive there from Mark Hennebury, up 7 places from where he qualified. Charles Darden up to 7th there for him. You can see him fighting that Ferrari as he comes out of that last corner. Ruan Heineke, 8th place, great result there for him. Jason Farmer up 6 from his qualifying in 9th place. Isham Domingo getting a little bit wrong into the braking zone at 10, but he should be able to get the car home in 10th place. 11th there for Ulrich de Jocha. Still a couple of more corners that he will need to navigate. Flip van Zyl in 12th, followed by Marius Botma. A great comeback there for him, having needed to rejoin from the back in 13th place. Tinus Porter, great battle there for him. Lots of opportunities there for him. Then it's Emily 15, Terry Wolford 16, Rob van der Heerwe 17. That's the third 16th position in a row for Terry Wolford now. Etienne 19th, 20th is Ronnie. Matthew Wadley, 21st there for him. Andrew Ambrogioni, 22nd, up 2 from where he qualified. Markham Zadanot, he had an almighty battle in that Lexus. 23rd there for him. Stefan Kutsia, 24. Malotse, 25th there for him in his Hello Kitty. Johan van der Venter, 26th there for him. Lucas Joubert, 27th. Atsi Pina in 28th. Mefezeko in 29th. And Andre Hildebrand brings it home in 30th place. So talk about drama, and it coming down to a very, very close end there.
Very close. Very, very close. Looks like we got some drivers come for a chat. David Farrell, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
How are you? How was that?
Very, very, very stressful.
Well done, David. Great race at the end, huh?
Thanks very much, Chris. It was very, very slippery towards the end.
Indeed. Yeah, we thought the rain gods might spring a surprise on everybody, but it just came too little, too late there. But it didn't. It brought everyone down. First, second, third, fourth. You were all nose to tail, and we saw you having some problems. Was that right at the end? The grip going?
Grip going, and I think I killed the tires a bit trying to get past one or two of the back markers.
Oh, right. Okay. Chris Heineke, are you good, sir?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Alan.
Lekker, man. Good
Yeah,
to speak to you again.
Yeah, man. Been a while, huh?
You and Ruan was having some huge dices there tonight as well, man.
Yeah, we're having a nice battle there, and I'm thinking to myself, he's not going to make way for me at the beginning. He said, no, let me get into the pits, get an undercut. And it worked almost. I came back behind the back marker. I lost some time there. But eventually I caught up to Ruan again, and then, eventually moved over from me. So, appreciate that.
Well, guys, the fact that we had first, second, third, and fourth place in the
In
same
one shot.
camera shot coming across
Yeah.
the line, man, we would never been able to think that that's how it would have ended. And obviously on the different pit strategies, guys pitting at different times. At one point, it looks like the Alpha 1 Esports were going to absolutely dominate. And then Andre Serodio, an amazing driver for you, and find yourself in third place and nearly getting yourself ahead of Chris. There was a few moments where I'm sure you were like, maybe I could actually take this place.
One more lap is all I say. One more lap, dude. One more lap. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Yeah, no, from start to finish, it was really tough. That 40 kg ballast is no joke. Yeah, I think it also didn't help that I had made a hybrid setup. So I was expecting the rain, and then no rain came. Until the end. And I just saw everyone coming close. I saw the top two keep going off track, and I'm like, this might be it. This might be it. But I think I got too greedy on the last two corners with the throttle, and then is what it is. Yeah. Also, defending against Sunjin it's not an easy task. It's
That
really
was
not
hectic.
an easy task. Yeah. And I don't know. I think he was having some issues towards the middle of the race. Still need to figure out what was happening. But yeah, no, like all of the A1 Oaks, they were my back is very sore is what I'm trying to say. They're gonna make me age like crazy after tonight.
I think somewhere in that stream I called you a Dagwood sandwich, a A1 Dagwood
A1
sandwich.
Chris, I just wanted to check. Obviously, when you started getting to the end, following David, I think there was about maybe 4 cars around you guys. I'm sure that was saying for yourself is that this is going to work into your favor. Were you hoping that the back markers would slow him down to give you an opportunity?
Well, that's the thing. I tracked the time and I saw David getting stuck there behind the back markers there, and I thought to myself, here's my gap to catch him. And then I realized I'm getting closer and closer and closer, and eventually we were all so bunched up that I even had a slight moment of sideways going there to try and avoid the guy. I think there was someone that went off and came back on track there, and we were 4 or 5 cars there at one stage, and so I lost it a bit there, but eventually I caught up to David again. But that grip at the end was hectic. I was sliding all over, and then I was running out of fuel. I went over the line of 0.0 liters, so
Yes.
I had to fuel save that last lap.
And that's only because David pushed for that last lap.
That's it. Yeah, no, we're pushing for that first spot. So no, it's a great drive by David.
If Chris wasn't as close, I would have definitely tried to slow down, so I wouldn't have got that last lap in.
You had 4 seconds left, David. 4 seconds.
Look, I was so focused on David, I didn't even know that Andre was catching the back there. So
Chris was less than a second behind me.
I don't know. That's the thing. So I don't even know what happened at the end there.
David, before we
very
move
close.
on, I just wanted to check that that moment there with Terry Wolford, he was having his own battle with tennis, and then there was that opportunity where I saw that in the chat. He did apologize, saying it was actually his fault not getting out the way, but when you made that contact, your heart must have completely sank.
It did. Like, there was so many emotions. I think the blood was boiling for about 3 or 4 laps before that. And then there was a bit of a gap, and then all of a sudden there wasn't. And once you're on the brakes, you just can't slow down more.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it is one of those things that it's happened, but at least the outcome was as what it should be. So we can all just give each other a beer and kind of move on. But wow, that could have been very, very different.
Yeah. Very, very, very tense race towards the end.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
next week we're rolling off to Paul Ricard for a 75-minute with 1 pit stop, Daryl?
Dylan, that's it.
Dylan,
one
yeah.
pit stop. That's all the
So,
Daves and Daryl and Dylans. I get it.
Yeah, it's too many D's here. So if we get the weather right on the server, Paul Ricard's going to be a huge challenge.
Yeah, that's my least favorite track of the calendar. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best.
Absolutely awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. That was very, very entertaining, to say the least. A big thank you to our sponsor, NAG.co.za. Guys, if you do want to get your NAG magazine, you can still purchase that online through shop.nag.co.za. So big thank you to them, as well as to MSI, our streaming computer, all exclusively MSI parts. So really thankful for that. And again, to all the viewers that came and joined us, thank you so much, as well as to the drivers. Without you, obviously SARCO doesn't happen. And then Mr. Alan Patterson for joining me in the comms block. It always is quite fun when we don't know what's going to be happening next.
It was. Thanks for having me tonight, Dylan, and well done, you guys. It was an awesome show here at Zandvoort.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys. Awesome. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.
Guys,
Cheers.
we'll see you next week at Paul Ricard. Until then, keep racing, keep practicing, and thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers.